upper 80s actual temperature. With how much moisture is packed in the environment, it'll feel close to the upper 90s to even close to 100 degrees. And then all week long, it'll feel like 100 degrees. So let's start with right now. We are weather aware through at least midday. May even have to extend that a little bit more with the latest trends. It looks like just rain doesn't get out of here very quickly. It's early to mid-afternoon. We'll start to see that taper, and then it becomes more and more spotty to isolated as we head later afternoon, evening, and eventually we will dry out tonight. But until then, flood risk is pretty elevated. Several flash flood warnings right now, and we'll see that through the morning. Dangerous heat index values through much of mid to even late week, and then going into your 4th of July weekend, really this hot pattern stays with us, and a few isolated spotty storm chances return each and every day. So here's the overall pattern: northwest to southeast, what we call training storms, where the direction they're going, storms continue to form behind them well up into Kentucky even. Several flash flood warnings right now. This one's from several hours ago, around 4:30 to 5 o'clock. Some flooding was reported in the Carnes community. Even another light shower starting to move through. This one will impact downtown Knoxville, just north of the I-640 corridor right now. But then also McCreary, Scott, and Campbell counties, flash flood warning does go until 7 o'clock. And even well behind some of these counties outside of our area to the north and west in Kentucky, this will continue to drift off towards the east-southeast. So even the rain you see well up into Kentucky, these will just continue to train behind. I mean, this is all the way up into almost Illinois, Evansville area, and then this will continue to move off towards the south and east, which means we could see several more hours of this very heavy torrential downpours. 6 Predictor doing a pretty good job of just showing how these storms will continue to move behind one another through about 7 o'clock, closer to the Kentucky border. Notice 10 o'clock still along north of I-40. Really, this has been the major threat area, is along and north of I-40. I do think it starts to drift off towards the southeast once we get closer to midday, early afternoon, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, becoming a little bit less numerous. But still, we could see some flooding concerns with the training storms and with just how much moisture is packed into the environment. We could be talking about some very torrential downpours through much of the afternoon. I think by evening hours, it's very, very isolated. Many of us will end up being on the drier side once we get past sundown. Maybe an isolated sprinkle or light shower after sundown, and then we'll really start to see clearing once we get closer to midnight and beyond. So future rainfall, again, north of I-40 going to be the most hazardous areas, highest threat. We'd be talking about a swath of another 2 to 3, maybe even an isolated 4-inch amount, and some of the spots that have already seen 2 to 4 inches of rain over the last 24 hours. So flash flood watch is in effect for an additional 2 to 4 plus inches. As always, what we say is turn around, do not drown. Really, that's going to be the #1 concern today, is don't get out on those flooded roadways if a flash flood warning is in effect for your location. It'll feel like the upper 90s to even close to triple digits today. Again, even though temperatures are only, quote unquote, in the mid to upper 80s, we're about to get a lot hotter. Starting off tomorrow morning, we will be dealing with at least a little bit of patchy fog with how much moisture is packed into the ground, especially if you see some clearing in the area. And we're just talking about hot triple-digit heat index values. Those are actual temperatures in the mid-90s. Heat index values as high as 105, maybe even hotter with that, with moisture values staying very high, but high pressure will build in, so our rain chances go to almost 0.
Well, Theo, thank you. AI